good Monday evening, Pittsburgh football fans. Welcome to this Labor Day installment of Coach Tim Beck Show. Eddie Lomchek along with the coach. Live at Chatter's Restaurant and Bar, our home on Mondays throughout the Pitt State football season. A good week for the Gorillas. Good start to the season last Thursday night, 34-7 up at Missouri Western. And boy, a lot of question marks going into a season opener. And on top of that, it's a conference opener. And on top of that, it's against a pretty good program in their own right. So a lot of good things do come out of a 34-7 win in the opener, and on a Thursday night, a little different routine. But Coach, you look at that, and it was a season opener, so in some regards you have more time to prepare for a team. On the other hand, you may feel like you're never quite ready, but you have to go play. So given all those things, to get out of there 34-7, that's a good night for you.
Yeah, it was a really good night. You know, there are always so many unknowns when you go into the first game, and after you play the first game, there's still some unknowns, and there's still a lot of things you got to work on and get better at. But you know, like I told our guys, it's a lot funner to fix mistakes and work on all your mistakes after a victory. And you know, it was a tough night. It was hopefully the toughest night we're going to have as far as heat.
Oh, brutal.
And both sides, you know, struggle with it. I think, you know, I felt like our guys handled it maybe better than Missouri Western did. And you know, it was really nice to get off with the intensity and focus that our players had, and come out with a win.
When you go into a game like that and there are unknowns, I don't know, maybe it's a general rule of thumb, you win the coin toss, do you generally like to defer and maybe prefer to have your defense out there first?
Yeah, I think we prefer that, you know, and then you get to the halftime like we were last week and you're up 28-0 and know when you come out you got the ball the first part of the third quarter. That makes you feel that much better. So we're always going to do that unless we have to make a decision with the win usually.
You look at, you know, you talk about getting off and playing a program like that and a place that's been tough to play. You know they're a good team. What were your biggest question marks going in, and you know, until the game kind of settles in, what were your biggest concerns with that ball game?
Well, going in, you know, you're always a little bit concerned offensively. You know how you're going to click, if you're going to be, you know, doing everything at the right pace, and those type of things. Getting plays in and out is always a concern. Making sure that you don't have any delay games, and you know that's one thing. Give our players a lot of credit. We didn't have any delay games, didn't jump off sides. Was for the most part penalty free. So that's always a concern going in. You know how you're going to handle some adversity. You know we're still, you know, wondering defensively if we've got everybody in the right position, and you know I think that game helped us clear a few things up. But you know, again, overall a great effort by everybody. There's a lot of things on special teams that we have to improve on, and some things that you don't see that we're not happy with. But you know that's why you go to practice the next day.
When you talk about offensively and you don't want to see procedures and line up a different look this year as far as the offense, because you are huddling and you know some hand signals at the line, but very different than last fall. But as much change for the players to know as far as personnel or packages or terminology, anything like that?
Yeah, there's still, you know, we still had some miscommunications at times, which you know, hopefully we get those things cleared up. But I think we had, you know, maybe a little bit less confusion breaking the huddle and doing some things. And we package a lot of plays. We'll run some straight plays where we just call a play, get up there and snap it, or we get up there and maybe change the snap count on what we're going to do. But then there are a lot of times where we've got 2 or 3 plays packaged as well. And so, you know, then it comes down to your operator. And, you know, for the most part, Zach did a pretty good job of putting us in the right thing. A lot of times we'll call it from the sideline, even though it's been called in the huddle. We'll still make a call from the sideline, letting him know what we want. We had a few too many plays where we had a problem, but again, it's all things that can be fixed.
You go up there on the day of the game, an evening game, and it's not that bad of a drive anymore. The roads are much better between here and there, but what's that like as a coach trying to, you know, it's a school day, but yet you got to go play, and talk about that routine and how you decide on how to go about things?
Well, you're worried whichever way you do it. You worry about if it's the right thing to do, and you know, I think again our coaches did a tremendous job of having everybody ready to go. You know, again, there's a lot of unknowns, and one of them is what's Western going to do offensively and defensively. They did a lot of the same things they've been doing in the past, which was in our favor. But making that decision on going up the day of, you know, we basically based it on it's a school week. We want them to be here. We want to practice at our place the day before the game. We want to go through all the routine that we do at home. And then, Coach Pierce put everything together on when we're leaving and where we're going to eat and pregame meal and all those kind of things. And I think for the most part, our players and coaches like to be able to get back on the bus for a short amount of time after pregame meal because, that gives them some time to collect their thoughts and what they've got to do. And so it really worked out pretty darn good.
You mentioned this on our pregame interview, and maybe people didn't hear it, but up there, since they have the new place and the Chiefs facility and all that, they go to the locker room, dressing room on the other end. You go to what used to be their place on the south end of the field. It literally, out the north end of the stadium and around the parking lot, was about a half a mile walk for you guys. Is that a big difference that you're right by the field now and you don't waste time with those things?
Well, I think it is. I think, you used to dread that, and we got to the point where we wouldn't even go to the locker room. We were going up, up in the end zone, and, it was, we were like the in a junior high or whatever. We were going to get together, and we, kind of circled up around the outhouse, and here we went, That's how it was the last couple of years. But, it's much better. It was air conditioning in there, which is a huge help, and we were able to get in there at halftime and get them cooled down, and gives you a little bit more time to talk to them and not have to worry about that half-mile walk.
Boy, it was a trek. That was humorous. Seeing you guys water the grass up there at the intermission up around the trees. So, hey, we'll go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, it was a dominant effort from the word go by the Pitt State defense. We'll talk about that side as we get into that win at St. Joe last week. That and more when we return with the Coach Tim Beck Show presented by CDL Electric.